All right, hello and welcome to 1-2 Punch Board. Today we're going to be doing another episode of Precon Recon. I'm going to be playing She-Hulk over here on the left, and then Phil, when he gets back.
Hello,
Oh,
it's
there he
me.
is. He's going to be playing Captain Marvel over on the right. We're going to be using the base game Precons, and we're going to be facing down against the Wrecking Crew. Because it's the
Yay.
only villains I could think of where I honestly think we have a chance in hell at winning. Because I don't have much faith in the base game precons.
You definitely do not.
I mean, even just looking through some of the cards that I've drawn, like Haymaker and Tenacity, it makes me makes me tug at my collar a little bit out of nervousness.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
I think that while I love playing She-Hulk, she's one of my favorite characters in the game. Her core set has some very bad cards in them that building a deck for her tends to alleviate some of the issues that her core set has. Like Ground Stomp is a pretty bad card. It has its good elements, but it's still not a great card at all. And what was it? Legal something or another. Legal Practice is a terrible, terrible card. Doesn't even give you a science or a mental resource to use on her law firm. It's just spend a card for a threat essentially. Dump your whole hand for 5 threat removal. That seems remotely reasonable. But yeah, let's get to it. I'm going first, correct? Okay, so I think out of the gate, I'm just gonna spend 1, 2, 3 on Focus Rage, just so I have that in play, so I can exhaust it and deal myself a damage to draw a card, because I'm gonna need it. I'm going to flip to hero form and deal 2 damage to an enemy. Alright. Who are we focusing in on?
Um, that's a good question. What do you think?
I don't know, honestly. I always either go for Bulldozer or Pile Driver for
That's
the
what I
early
usually do.
game.
That's what I usually do as well.
Because I think Thunderball is the least difficult to deal with of the lot. Just because he attacks for a small amount and he's often more focused on dealing damage to a lot of things as opposed to a specific thing.
Right.
I would say what might be good, since this is not an attack, is I'll just deal 2 damage to Pile Driver, seeing as I won't get the retaliate from that. And then I'll punch something else probably. But I'm going to use Focus Rage, take a damage, draw a card. Oops. Did not mean to turn it. I did not mean to draw 3 cards. And that is a card that I actually need. So unfortunately I will have to spend combat training to, when I attack, to use 1-2 punch to ready myself. And then I will attack again. So I'm dealing 3 damage and 3 damage, but to what?
Um,
Do we just want to focus on Bulldozer? Just
I think that's a good choice.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And of course, the card that I drew that I was intending on use to discard is my Superhuman Law Division. So I'm going to be keeping that in hand for next turn because that is a supremely important card.
Yeah.
And that's over to you.
Okay, I'm going to draw a card because that's what I do.
Yup.
And then I'm going to flip. And
I think the only thing that I am worried about right now is which villain we're going to want to activate against us this turn. Because it always starts with the Wrecker if we leave everyone's threat alone.
yeah. Then I'll spend a lightning resource to heal a damage and draw a card. Do I have to heal?
You do have to heal the damage, so you can't
That's what I
actually
thought.
do
Yeah,
that.
so I can't do that yet.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's do something else instead. Let's do 1, 2, 3
Whew.
to put out Mockingbird.
And who are we stunning? I mean, I guess it's whoever you want to activate this round. So either Wrecker or Thunderball. Because if you do any thwarting to Day of Reckoning, then it'll be Thunderbolt. Otherwise, it'll be Wrecker.
Yeah, let's go Thunderbolt.
Okay.
I think I'm going to thwart some stuff.
Okay.
At least I think I am. Yeah, I am. Okay, then we're going to...
And if it's a tie and threat, you choose.
Yeah. We're going to use...
Energy Absorption. Like, it's such a simple card, but I love the art on it. I love the look of it. It's one of my favorite looking cards in the game.
Yeah. We'll do... This card's so crappy.
Oh my god.
Get rid of that and that to do that.
Yep. Okay.
That guy.
So that
I'm
just
not aerial.
removes 2 threat.
Yeah, so we'll just remove that threat.
So you're removing what, 2 from Day of Reckoning?
Day of Reckoning, so that way we're gonna get Thunderbolt, right?
Yep.
And then we'll throw out scary. Because why not?
Yeah.
And then I've got some attacking I can do, so we're focusing Power Driver. Well, that's Retaliate, though, huh?
Well, I was focusing on Bulldozer.
Bulldozer, that's right. So let's do Bulldozer for 1, and then I will hit Bulldozer
for another 2.
Another 2.
All right, so he's down to 15. And we draw up. I draw only 3 cards. That's not bad. That could have been significantly worse. All right, and so 2 threat on the main scheme and 1 threat on all of the little side schemes here. And now this moves to Thunderball as the active villain. He's going to try and attack me and cannot. So that stun goes away. And then he's going to attack you for 1 plus a boost, and then after he attacks you, he'll deal 1 to each character you control.
Yeah, 1 plus a boost, and then... I think we're just going to let Mockingbird take it.
Because she'll take a damage anyway. So
anyway, yeah.
It's going to be a total of 3, so yeah, she dies, and then you take 1 damage, which is just enough for you to heal on your next turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom and boom. Tactical Prowess. Move all threat from the side scheme with the least to the side scheme with the most. If that scheme's force ability is not triggered, this gains Surge. So which has the least? This one with 4, so it will trigger it because this goes up to 10. So this is at 0. And this says, after threat, blah, 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 stun each friendly character.
Cool.
That is definitely a word for it.
All right.
And that does not gain Surge because that actually happened, so...
Yeah. All right, so then we've got Lightning Blast. Thunderbolt attacks me.
And if you don't block it, he adds 3 threat. Yeah.
I mean, that's...
I mean, if you don't block it, he's just going to add... He's going to go back up to 6 and be still the person that's activating. So that might not be terrible.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to take it.
It's going to be for a total of 3. And then you take an additional 1 because of his ability.
Yeah.
All right, and you are starting us off.
Okay. So let's do... I have things. So let's heal the damage and draw a card and spend this lightning. Where's my lightning? Doesn't really help me right now, does it? Well, I guess it sort of does. 1, 2. We'll put out my helmet.
Nice.
Really, honestly, isn't that nice. It's kind of just blah.
I mean, once you get one of her aerial cards into play, her set really picks up, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. Then we're gonna take this guy.
Mm-hmm. When I first started playing the game, I thought this was a one-time use thing, so I just would hold on to it and wait until I got a hand of energy resources and just spend them all at once.
Hmm. I see what you're saying. So I don't have any resources to spend on that right now. This is just hanging out. I can't attack unless I want to just get rid of my stun. Mhm. Hmm. I think I'm just gonna.
Just remove your stun.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna move this on. I'm trying to think if I should flip and let you draw a card.
Hmm. I mean, I don't really know that I need an extra card draw if I'm being honest.
Okay,
What
so I'll
I
just let it be
yeah.
for now then.
Hmm. Yeah, actually. Okay. All right, so here's the game plan. Let's exhaust, remove the stun. We're going to spend 1 to put out Superhuman Law Division. We're going to flip, and then we're going to use a science resource to remove 2 threat from Thunderball's scheme so that the Wrecker is activating his scheme as opposed to Thunderball's oppressive amount of scheme. Because he would be scheming for 6 between the two of us plus boost cards as opposed to 4 plus boost cards for Wrecker.
Yeah, well, I didn't flip down, so you'd be
Oh,
fine.
did you not?
No,
I thought you had.
no, because you said you didn't need a card.
That's right. Well, then is that the smart play then? Or should I remove threat from somewhere else?
I think removing from there is probably fine.
Okay. All right. That is my whole turn. So now draw back up. That's looking... Oh my god, this deck sucks. Jesus Christ. Alrighty. 2 threat on here. 1, 1, 1, and a 1. And the Wrecker is now the active villain. He is going to attack you. And if you do not block, he gets +2 to his attack.
Oh, I have, an extra defense now, so I could just block it.
I
So
feel like it's the better option because you're
yeah,
essentially blocking an extra 2 on top of that.
yeah. So my defense is 2. So it is what, 2 plus
2,
2.
so 4. -2 is 2. And then he schemes for me for a total of 4. It's
Did
actually
we
going to
shuffle these
be
decks?
3.
I noticed we had,
That's a great
a lot of.
question. If they are ordered in that way, yeah, we need to shuffle them.
That's what I figured.
Okay. Did not expect those to not be shuffled.
No worries.
Alrighty. So now, boom and boom.
All right.
Oh, good. So pile driver attacks you.
Pile driver attacks me. I can't do anything about it, so he does do that.
All right. It's gonna be for 4.
That's
And
really good.
then Wrecker schemes, then move the active villain marker to the villain whose scheme has the least threat. So he's going to go over, and you're going to die. Because you're going to deal 2 damage to each friendly character.
Yes, that is me. Dead.
Oh, boy, oh boy. Alright, well, let's see how long I last, if at all. I'll try to make this quick. So I'm going to go ahead and use this to give myself +1 attack. Let's go ahead and spend... Let's flip, deal 2 damage to something. So let's make it pile driver. Then we're going to spend 1, 2, oops. Yeah, 3 on Attack team. There we go. Only got about 2 counters on it because I'll use that to attack pile driver, right? Because that's not an attack. That's just yeah, exhausted to deal 2 damage to an enemy. So yep. And then we're gonna swing for 4 at bulldozer, and that'll be that. Ready, and draw up my 4. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, and bulldozer is going to be the active villain now, because why not? He's going to slam me, and I'm just going to take it to the face, and it's going to be for a total of just the 3. All right. And then what do I get? All right. Get wrecked. So pile driver is going to attack me, and I think I'm just gonna take it again. It's gonna be for a total of 2. Yep, just 2. All right. Let's put down Hulk. Let's have.
Oh.
Let's see. Let's have him attack the escaped convict and defeat him. And then discard the top card of my deck, which is a science, so he just dies. Awesome. My favorite. I love it when that happens. I'm going to punch bulldozer for 4. Let's go ahead and tag team pile driver for 2. We're going to flip to my alter ego, spend, chase them down to remove 2 threat from the main scheme, just to sort of keep that under wraps. Oh yeah, bulldozer's gonna absolutely discard 10 cards off the top of my deck. Good, 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 good. Alright. Draw my 5, and then 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. He's going to, yep, discard the top 10 cards of my deck. Oh, you know what? I would have actually prevented one of this threat with my core ability. I always forget that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do I get? Discard a card at random from my hand. So go ahead.
This one.
Yep, and it's based on the printed cost, so nothing happens. I would have added a threat equal to the printed cost on the card.
You're welcome.
Yep. Let's see. Oh, I can totally kill him this turn if I really want to. Let's just go ahead and flip. Deal. Let's see. How do I want to do this? What's the best way of doing it? Because I'm attacking for 4. If I do 1, 2, 3 on that, and then, well, I could do 1, 2, 3 on that. We'll do 2 damage to pile driver for the freebie. We will attack for 4. And then go ahead and 1-2 punch to ready. And then attack for 4 again. And bulldozer's done. Well, let's just leave that there for now. Who's going to activate this turn? It's going to be Thunderball. Do I punch someone for 5, or do I bring out Hellcat?
I would punch someone.
I think that's just the better play right now. So I'll just punch the Wrecker for 5. Oh yeah, and I'll use my last attack team to deal another 2 to pile driver. 4. Oop, nope, I draw 1, and then I get... Does this immediately move to the next thing, or do I draw... I guess I draw one of these cards for the boost. That's weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's actually is weird.
And then this moves the Thunderball. He's going to attack me, and I'm going to take it. Jesus. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the additional 1. Choose the villain whose side scheme has the least threat. Reveal the top 2 cards of his, or the top card of his deck. So it's going to be Pile Driver. Oh, I can't remove any of the threat from his side scheme. Oh no. And then energy projectiles. Deal damage to each character I control. Alright. Alright. I could definitely use some health right about now. Let's go ahead and spend 1. Oh, come on. There we go. 2. To put out superhuman strength, we're going to attack for 6 and stun a character. So let's just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and stun him. And then oh, did I remember to add threat? I don't think I did. I will flip, spend this to remove 2 threat from the main scheme, and that'll be that. Draw back up to 6. So now 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, and 1. You'll never guess he's going to scheme for bajillion. Move the active counter to the villain with the least threat on this scheme. That villain schemes. So is that villain the one... So does he scheme and then the other one schemes? This happens immediately.
Because this is part of his scheme, yeah. But he's still in the middle of his scheme, right? So that's still going to resolve as a scheme.
That's how I've always understood it. So.
Yeah, that's what I've always assumed. So that scheme, he schemes is for 3,
I'm
and then
stunned.
And then the least threat is going to be after that is going to be himself.
See, that's why I'm confused. Is it moves to the active player and they scheme, or is it that this just continues? You know what I mean? I feel like move the active counter to the villain with the least threat on his side scheme. That villain schemes, replaces his scheme is how I kind of am reading that now. Because it's midway through the scheme, it changes who's the active villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see you're saying it's. I've always done it the other way, where he finishes his scheme and then whoever has the least scheme. But then it becomes that weird question of, so let's do it your way.
So presumably this villain schemes instead of him, so he's already midway through the scheme, so I assume he doesn't draw a boost card and just gets 2. Because, like, you draw the boost card, then you resolve the scheme. So we drew a boost card, it changes the active player. He already essentially drew his boost card from this, and so he just gets
part of the scheme. Part of the scheme is the boost, right? So if the villain is scheming, then
let me just look it up, because that's just
it is a little weird.
What's the card called?
I've been waiting for this.
All right, let's see what it pulls up. Shocking that other people have asked this question. Who would have thought? By the time you reveal Buddy System as a boost, the current active villain is mid-activation. That villain will still resolve its activation after the active counter is moved to a different villain. If other players still have to resolve the villain's activation against them, the new active villain will be the one to activate against them. Quote from... So while it doesn't explicitly address the issue, sounds like if a villain is mid-activation, it will finish resolving it. In particular, I would say Wrecker adds 2 threat to his scheme, and then the new active villain schemes as well. Alright. Okay. So we had it right the first time, so...
Yeah, that would be my thought.
And then 2 plus his boost, which is going to be another one of these. So they're going to move... He's going to move back, and then it's going to be for another 6.
Yep, and he boosted for 2.
I already did the 2.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
That's right, you did. Yeah.
So, Jesus.
Everything's going really well.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. And then buddy system. Oh my god, you kill me. So we're just going to go ahead and hop over here. Escape plan, you are confused. Oh, god, kill me. Just put me out of my misery. These decks blow, but also this is just irritating. So I'm stunned and confused and at 3 health. No worries. Everything's fine.
Everything will be okay.
Everything's fine. We're going to go ahead and use Ground Stomp to remove 2 threat from... I don't care about Thunderstruck. I'll let that activate again. Let's just remove 2 threat from Pile Driver. Because why not? Let's go ahead and spend 1, 2 to set up this for a future turn. God help me, am I going to actually use Legal Practice? Yeah, I think I am. So I'm going to use Legal Practice to remove 2 threat from the main scheme. Oh, wait. Wait. Is that a... That's a thwart action, so that just actually removes my confusion for free. Oh boy. And then we're going to heal for 5 and flip to deal 2 damage to Pile Driver for free. Then we're going to ready, draw 2 cards. 1, 2, 1, 1. Thunderstruck triggers, which means I'm still stunned.
Yeah.
And then I choose whether Pile Driver or... Oh, I'm sorry. I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. I just need to delete this, so I'm not caring about what this says. There we go. That's way easier. So now, Wrecker is going to be the active villain. And he's going to be stunned for me, which is awesome. That's huge. Mm-hmm. And I'm held hostage, so I can't remove any other threat from his scheme. Okay. Yeah, we're back over to this. Oh my god, I can't believe. This is such a bad hand. Let's go ahead and deal a damage to myself and draw a card. And see if that helps. It doesn't. Not even a little bit. Well, I could do 1, 2... Yeah, alright. So we're going to spend 1. Jesus. TTS is not cooperating today. 2 to use Haymaker to remove my stun. I'm going to attack for 4. Screw it. Then I'm going to use 1, 2 punch. And attack him again for 4. So Pile Driver's done. And it took 2 damage from his retaliates. And then I'm going to flip down so I don't die. And that's that. So that's at 11 of 12 threat. No big deal. He's going to scheme. That activates, so I take, what is it, 3 damage? 2 damage. Oh, I also am going to reduce the threat on this by 1. Not that it super matters. And then choose to either discard an upgrade or place a threat on the active villain's side scheme for each upgrade you control. And Okay, so what upgrades do I have? 1, 2, 3. I'll just add 3 threat to his side scheme. I don't really care. Keep him the active villain. Let's go ahead and heal for 5. Oh, I forgot to draw up. Oh yeah. This is gonna be a good turn. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nickaboy. And we'll draw 3 cards. Yep. And then 1, 2, 3 for Helicarrier. And we'll flip and deal 2 damage to Wrecker. And he'll thwart for 2. Oh, wait. What I would have done is I would have spent this, and I would have used this to remove 2 threat from the main scheme as well. There we go. Shame to have to discard that, but it seems like the best option here. Ready, draw, 2 threat, 1 threat, 1 threat. Nick takes the attack. He dies.
Yeah.
And place 2 threat on each side scheme. Wow. Another winning hand if I've ever seen one. Holy crap. I'm gonna take a damage, draw a card, and pray that it's something I can play. It certainly is better than anything else in my hand. Play Tac Team. 3 counters. We'll make it 2. Deal 2 damage to Wrecker. Deal another 4 damage. Him. Oh, you know what? I would have spent 1 less because of Helicarrier. Flip. Remove 2 threat from the main scheme with that. And use Legal Practice to remove an additional threat from, I don't know, let's say Thunderstruck, because I'm feeling generous. 1 threat. Oh, I prevent 1 threat from going out. So it's going to be 2 threat here, 1 threat here, and then no threat here at the start. And then he's going to activate. So now that's going to go over. Of course. Move the active counter to the villain whose side scheme has the least. If you're in hero form, that villain attacks you after this attack, which I am not, so it's just going to move over here. He's going to deal 2 damage to me. And then everything's held hostage. I forgot to draw my 6. Okay. Okay. That's a Gamma Slam. And I have taken 10 damage, so now seems like a good time to do that. Let's heal for 5. Flip. Deal 2 to Thunderball. Spend 1, 2, 3, 4 to do Gamma Slam to deal 10 damage to Wrecker. So it's just down to him.
Nice.
And Tac Team him for 2.
Nice. I will be right back.
Yeah.
Keep killing.
Sorry to keep you hanging there. Alright. I am going to draw back up my 2. 2 threat. 1. He's going to attack me. I'm just going to take it. It'll be for a total of 2 plus the 1 in addition, and deal a damage. Deal a damage to each character. All right, so boom. I don't know how long this has been out, but I've been forgetting to use it. I honestly don't. I mean, we're gonna use it now. whenever it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And stun. I'm honestly surprised how well this is going. We'll use this to deal an extra 2. We're going to use split personality. Yeah, we'll use all of them. Flip and draw my 6. And so I get one of these set aside. I should have exhausted when I did, but oh well. We're going to put out Hulk. We're going to put out Hellcat. Well, no. We're going to first attack with Hulk, just to be safe. Yeah, he deals a damage to everything, including himself, and then we put out Hellcat. That is why order of operations here are important. So he's actually at 3. She will just attack for 1. We're just going to go for it, huh? Ready. Oop, not ready, because I still have to flip again and deal 2 damage to him. Except, what did I pay for? I would have paid using this, and then use this in order to use Superhuman Division before I flip again.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. So, 1, 2. He is stunned, so nothing happens there. And then I get 2 cards. Sure. Choose to either discard an upgrade or add. I should probably draw my 4 cards. Oh yeah. I'll just discard an upgrade, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. And then, sure, he has guard. Awesome. So let's go ahead and deal 3 damage to the guard. And he will deal another 2 damage to something. Not that it matters, because I'm just going to Gamma Slam. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Gamma Slam him for 10.
10.
Wow, that was dumb. I'm honestly surprised I lasted as long as I did.
You did it. I lasted a very short amount of time.
Yeah, I don't think that's your fault, though. I think that was just the happenstance of how the...
Yeah, I took half my health in a single turn.
Yeah, the Wrecking Crew has that weird ping-pong thing where sometimes the game just ends so abruptly and so suddenly. I think the Wrecking Crew is probably one of my least favorite villains to play against as a whole, just because, like, they're very straightforward once you get into the rhythm of it. But I was curious, like, I think it shows that even with these base character sets, even with one of us taken out, She-Hulk has one of the, I think, most middle-of-the-road core sets with some really bad cards in there, and she was still able to just hold her own because of the sheer damage output that she has.
Yeah, she puts out a lot of damage.
So let's talk briefly about our decks and what's good about them and what's bad about them. I can tell you a lot of what's bad about mine. A lot of these terrible events that don't need to be here. Tag Team is not great. Haymaker is terrible. Mockingbird's not bad. She's okay, but she's not thematic, really. Nick Fury feels weird here, too. Relentless Assault isn't a super great card because it's very situational. Tigra is thematic. I will give it that. I don't know that she works well for this deck, but that is a thematic choice for this hero. Having 3 copies of combat training is always bad. There's not really any getting around that. This deck could have been worse, but I do think that there's a lot of elements in it that suffers from the early card pool that just makes this deck not super tenable.
Yeah. This card just doesn't, or this deck just doesn't, other than her base cards, she really doesn't have much going on in this deck at all. Even the minions not minions, the allies they chose don't really feel very good. They're all super expensive, which is not bad for her because of her card draw, but it doesn't feel great.
Vision is the only one that really does anything in this case, but even then, Vision doesn't make sense thematically much at all.
Yeah.
Outside of the very tenuous connection of we happen to be Avengers.
Yeah.
I don't think that Captain Marvel is a particularly great choice for a leadership deck, and I don't think that there are like any allies in the current pool that really reflect her leadership abilities, like her leadership thematically well. Because she primarily, this is clearly based on the more modern take on the character, and she has almost exclusively been working with sword or space-related projects like Alpha Flight, and there are no allies from Alpha Flight available, so it's not really like a particularly great option one way or the other.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't see them making Alpha Flight allies. It'd be great to see Sasquatch lumbering around, but I don't see that happening. What I will say is that I think that Captain Marvel is going to need an aspect change, but I think She-Hulk's fine as aggression. As long as you have the mental resources on a bunch of cards to allow her to really tap into superhuman law division, I think she really works super well with aggression, because obviously that's her bread and butter, is just punching real hard, but also flipping regularly in a way. I think both of these heroes are flip-heavy heroes where they want to be on alter ego almost as often as their hero forms.
Yep, agreed. So what aspect do you think would work best?
I mean, I think because her resource of choice is energy, I'm inclined to say protection. Thematically, she's always... A lot of her actions are perceived as aggressive. You know, she is the kind of character who is shown by a lot of writers who don't necessarily understand her. The punch first, ask questions later element takes kind of the front and center. Mm-hmm. But her goal almost all the time is to protect people, to protect either Earth or some alien civilization or the helpless in some capacity. She's all about saving people. And, Alpha Flight is a response team in many ways to incoming threats to Earth, similar to Sword. And I think that because of those two elements, protection would work really well, because it's got a plentiful amount of energy resources to work off of. Her defense becomes pretty crazy once she's able to get her helmet and her aerial key into play. And I just think that there's a lot of really good options for her to just kind of benefit a lot from a number of the cards in that set. Namely, the aerial card that was introduced into protection is super thematic for her, and also a huge boon to any deck that she runs.
Yeah.
Because it's something like ready your hero and remove 2 threat from the main scheme for 2 resources. So she could theoretically like attack for 2, then play that, thwart for 2 ready, and thwart for 2 again. She could either thwart for 6 if she really needs to, or she can mix it up and attack for some, remove the 2 threat, and then attack for some.
Yeah.
Which makes her incredibly versatile. And then, the energy channels makes her a huge bruiser. So, like, her core set gives her a lot of punchies, and then that element of it makes it so that she's a really good thwarter as well, and makes her a very all-around strong hero.
Yeah.
Plus, Spider-Woman is just a great ally in general, too.
Yeah, she's a good ally.
Some people might be a little disappointed by the 2 health, but the confusion is great.
Especially for a character who wants to flip down a lot.
Mm-hmm, exactly, yeah. Hellcat is okay. I like the idea of her, but She-Hulk doesn't often have the card draw to just like, yeah, I'll return Hellcat to my hand and then put her in play again. If I would return her to hand, it would be to spend her because I have not enough cards this turn to do something.
Right.
But yeah, this might have been a shorter one, but I think it's going to be it for us today. Thank you, folks, for tuning in, for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed this. And next week, we're going to be posting the 2 articles featuring our edits that we're going to be making to the She-Hulk and Captain Marvel decks. And then the following week, we'll be doing another playthrough, maybe not of the Wrecking Crew, maybe of something else, with our updated decks to just show off what they do and how they work. Until then, we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.